for the week of June 5th, 2022. This is Mojo Weekly. I'm John.
I am Dale, live in studio, or through internet tin cannon string.
That's right. I told everybody it would be a very special guest this week, and I wasn't lying. So, Dale, you ready? Here's your news.
You know it, man.
I should mention Josh is on assignment. Anyway, all right, here's the news. Resident Evil Remake was officially announced. So PlayStation had their big state of play, and the first big announcement they made was the Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's officially on its way. It'll be released in just under a year, so March 24th, 2023. And they're looking to reimagine, Capcom is, the storyline of the game while keeping the essence of its direction, modernizing the graphics, and updating the controls to a modern standard. They also mentioned that PSVR 2 owners will be able to look forward to some VR content, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be the full game in VR. It's just some VR content for Resident Evil 4 Remake. So that's exciting.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
Resident Evil 4 is like one of the ones I should really go back to and finish one of these days. I've only played the Wii version before.
Oh yeah, that's a good version though.
Yeah, so I only got a little ways into it, and then it unfortunately fell into the backlog. And yeah, just the trailer during State of Play, just you could tell like Resident Evil 2 and 3, the past remakes, that this one's getting the full treatment here by Capcom. They're pros at it.
Right on. I also never finished it. I bought it when it first came out on GameCube. Probably got about halfway through it, and then I don't know, got distracted by something shiny and never went back to it. So I will definitely play through this one. I've been loving these remakes.
You did 2 and 3?
Yeah, I definitely did 2 and 3, and I loved them. 2, 3, 7. I played all of those in the last few years. Loved them all. Played through all of them. So also in other Resident Evil news, Village is getting a VR. They're getting a VR mode for PlayStation VR 2. So it will be the complete campaign. So that's cool. I really enjoyed Village. Played all the way through it. Don't know that I want to play through it again. Wasn't my favorite of the bunch, but I loved Resident Evil 7 in VR, so maybe.
That's what I heard. I've always heard that, the Resident Evil 7 VR was like some of the most intense VR experiences ever, and that like it brought the whole horror gameplay element to a whole new level. I've only got a little experience with PlayStation VR, but I imagine if they're with even better technology, that it's going to just blow it away even more.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 VR is one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Loved it. It's in my top 5 games of all time in VR. Really enjoyed it. Next up, this was a surprise to me because I didn't think this would be shown at a Sony State of Play. Street Fighter 6, they showed its first gameplay trailer, and also mentioned that it will be coming to PlayStation and Xbox in 2023. So it will be cross-platform this time around. It won't be a PlayStation and PC exclusive.
Yeah, that trailer looked awesome. I didn't get a chance to watch State of Play live, but I had another friend shoot me a link to the trailer there that I play Street Fighter 5 with online a couple times a year. And that they did that teaser, what was it, like several months ago, with Ryu all just super jacked up. And it looks like he's continually even more jacked up somehow, and like him and Chun-Li are featured the most in the trailer. And and then they have him just beating up a bunch of goons and like cardboard box heads. I hope those are like bonus characters in there.
They mentioned a bunch of new modes, saying that they'll have more information about them soon. And it almost looks like a single player campaign mode, like some sort of training mode where you run around a city and just beat the crap out of faceless goons training and stuff. I have no idea what it is, but it looks really cool. I know that not a lot of people were super happy about it. The hardcore fans weren't super jazzed about it, but fucking whatever. They're never pleased about anything. So I think it looks great. I'm very excited.
Imagine, but I just hope it doesn't really start off as a very, very bare bones release like Street Fighter V first was for like that first. I know they really fleshed it out after a couple of years there with all the. Of course, I made sure to plunk down all the coinage for the
Yeah, me too.
many season passes, but it made it just that much better of an experience.
Yeah, same here. It started out, like you said, very bare bones. By the time it got to whatever it was called, Ultimate Edition or whatever, then it was like a full-on great game. But it always played well, though. I always thought it played great. Despite the lack of content, it played great, I thought. Next up, Horizon Forbidden West got a major update, including New Game Plus, a performance mode, a way to reset your skill tree, an ultra hard difficulty, New Game Plus trophies, and a bunch more. It's all out now. So, if you got the game, download the update now. That's a game I'm in the middle of right now. So, awesome.
There you go. You can jump right into the new bonus content right away. That's nice when the DLC hits, because it sucks sometimes. Like, DLC is always awesome, but when it comes out like several months after you beat the game, it can be hard to get right back into it. But if you happen to time it just right, that's always nice.
For sure. Yeah. Now, you remember that game called Stray that was about a little kitty running around kind of a cyberpunk world? Well, that is coming out on July 19th, and it will be free for those subscribed to the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers. So, looks like a neat game, right?
Yeah, it looked like a nice little exploratory platformer kind of. I guess I have, it's funny now that I think about it. I always hear from a couple people I heard from over the years. I don't know if you heard about this, John, is that they always told me that they were Blinks the cat fans, and I'm like, oh, Blinks, that was just like a kind of like a average. It's kind of been a running joke over the years, but like kind of like an average platformer. But they're big cat fans, so maybe this will be like the PlayStation sitting like a ace up their sleeves to get the cat crowd on their side.
Yeah, get all the feline fans. Next up, Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man Miles Morales will be hitting the PC in 2022. So there you go, coming in August. So there you go. Miles Morales will have to wait until later in the fall, though. And then No Man's Sky will be coming to PlayStation VR 2. There's already a version available for VR 1. So, this will just be fancier VR, I guess. And then finally, the last thing that they announced at the State of Play, or at least that I'm going to talk about, there are a few other things, but these are kind of the big nuggets. Tunic is coming to PlayStation in September. Tunic, which was released on Xbox in March.
Yeah, that's a big that was getting a lot of buzz a few months ago. I can't believe it was already March. Seemed like it was just last month, but yeah.
It's gone by quick. It is a really fun game. I've played a bit of it. It's very much like Legend of Zelda, but really, really cool. Whew, I got the sneezes. It's coming to PlayStation on PlayStation 5 and 4 on September 27th of this year. So I'm going to go back to Street Fighter a little bit. Let's expand on that. There will be 22 characters to start with, and the lineup was leaked this week. An image of the lineup was leaked. I don't think Capcom intended for that to come out quite yet, but it's out, and here's what we know, Dale. We've got Ryu, Ken, Zangief, Dhalsim, E Honda, Blanca, Guile, and Chun-Li. The original World Warriors will be there. Cammy, DJ, Rashid, Yuri, Ed, and Akuma. I'm glad to see Rashid there because I really fell in love with that character on Street Fighter V.
I remember when we did a couple of Street Fighter V online sessions. That was your main guy.
Yeah, he's my main. I just love how fast he goes. There's something about his style that just clicked with me. He's not the most powerful character, but I was able to nail his combos pretty well. I didn't get good, as the kids say, but I was confident with Rashid. Let's see, we've got the rest. There's Luke, who came out in Street Fighter V. Jamie, This guy's from Hong Kong, and he was in the original trailer. And apparently he's rumored to be related to Yun and Yang from Street Fighter 3, who I never play as when I play Street Fighter 3. And then we got Marissa, who is a fighter from Italy. Mimi, a French fighter. Lily, a young woman from Mexico. JP, a stylish Russian with a cape, cane, and a fancy mustache. Kimberly, who's from the U.S., and she has a Walkman, so right on. And then AKI, a Chinese white-haired woman with claw weapons.
Oh, man. I kind of lit up a little bit unintentionally when you said AKI. Josh would know why, too. There's AKI is the name of a legendary developer of a bunch of wrestling video games, and in one of the wrestling games, they made a character called AKI Man. So,
Nice.
Yeah. But on that Street Fighter 6 trailer, there was one character that stood out to me. I'm presuming a new character. It looked like it would be Capcom's answer to the polarizing Eddie character from the Tekken games. I don't know if you caught your eye too. Did a lot of capoeira attacks with the spinning kicks and all that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah. I'm like, well, this seems like shades of Eddie from Tekken, and I know that character. He's like a button masher favorite that whenever I play against people in Tekken in it, just as a joke, everyone gets mad because it's so easy just to easily chain up endless juggle combos with him. So. But yeah, I didn't get information on which character that was. But yeah, I remember that really stuck out to me in the trailer.
Right on. Next up, we've got Konami has revealed that they're working on new Bomberman projects. But that good news comes with a little bit of not so good news. They are closing the servers for Super Bomberman R Online. It will be closed on December 1st. I guess I'm not too disappointed. I played it a little bit when it came out on Switch. Didn't really do it for me. It was kind of slow. Waiting for matches was always a pain in the ass. But they said they will be moving forward with multiple projects, and they hope to inform us soon. So more Bomberman coming.
Yeah, I like Super Bomberman R. I never did it online. I just busted it out for like a little local session once. But I did like they had a bunch of guest characters that were fun. I think Snake was in there, and some other NEC characters, right? Bonk? Wasn't there Bonk in there?
I don't think Bonk was in there. I would have known if Bonk was in there for sure. but yeah, the online was kind of like a battle royale kind of vibe. It gave me very what was that game? Mario, the Mario online thing that they had on.
Oh yeah, Mario 35.
Yeah, whatever that was. So it gave me like definite vibes of that. It was a good idea. It just wasn't executed super well. Next up, Yu Suzuki, who you might know is the creator of Shenmue and a bunch of other classic arcade games, is making a new game for Apple Arcade, and it's a rail shooter called Air Twister. It will be coming this month, so June 24th, to Apple Arcade. It is billed as an endless shooter starring a young woman named Princess Arch, who is fighting off a group of enemies invading her home planet. Very similar in style to Space Harrier. So it's kind of a third person flying shooter. She's flying through the air, very much like Space Harrier.
Get ready.
Yeah. The thing about this game that has everybody talking is the music. Have you seen this trailer?
I have not seen the trailer, but just hearing you describe it, I always remember the iconic music of Space Harrier, and just like that dumb little crappy impression I did, just the little voiceovers from it it is classic, and I'm sure Yu Suzuki will just double down on it and deliver.
You need to watch this trailer, Dale, because the music is done by a composer from a Dutch composer named Valencia. And apparently Yu Suzuki's a huge fan of this guy and reached out to see if he would do the soundtrack, and he agreed. It sounds like the Flash Gordon song, from like Queen. It's
yes.
It's very like Flash. It's that very much in that style. It is nuts and kind of hilarious. It's like over the top, ridiculous, and very funny. I don't know if it's intended to be funny, but holy shit, it had me laughing. I have an Apple Arcade subscription. I've already got this thing ready to preload on my Apple TV. I will be playing it the moment it's released. I want to experience this madness.
You said it's exclusively to Apple Arcade for now?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Also coming to Apple Arcade are two other games. Cooking Mama Cuisine. Cooking Mama's coming back. And then Frogger and the Rumbling Ruins, which actually launched the other day. The prior Frogger game that they put on Apple Arcade wasn't that hot, so I'm hoping this one's better. It looks like Frogger meets Indiana Jones, which is weird. So
yeah, I just remember that wasn't the last Cooking Mama game. It didn't like get recalled like within days after coming out on Switch or something like that. There was like something like it was causing damage to Switch units or something like that. Or maybe I'm getting the story mixed up a little bit. It was from a few years ago.
There was something busted about it. I don't remember what it was, but I do think you're right. There was something jacked up about a recent Cooking Mama game. So hopefully it doesn't brick my iPhone if I don't. And then finally, this is kind of sort of biggish news, but Sega announced the Mega Drive Mini
2,
Part 2, and it will come with more than 50 pre-installed Mega Drive and Mega CD games. So nothing's been announced for the United States yet. This one actually does look like the Mega Drive 2 or this Genesis 2 that came out back in the day. So it's kind of a smaller form factor, more squarish. So here are the games that were confirmed for it so far, and much like last time, they're going to roll these out, roll out the announcements between now and when it's released in October. So the games that have been confirmed so far are the Sega CD games Sylphied, Shining Force CD, Sonic CD, Mansion of Hidden Souls, and Popful Mail. And then the Mega Drive or Genesis games that they've confirmed are Virtua Racing, Bonanza Brothers, Shining in the Darkness, Thunder Force 4, which is awesome, Magical Tarudo, I've never heard of that one, and Fantasy Zone. So it will be available for 4,500 yen. Oh, sorry, that is incorrect. Around $76. So it's going to be about 9,900 yen. But what is going to be 4,500 yen is they are releasing a cosmetic-only add-on to this called the Mega Drive Tower Mini 2, and it includes a Mega CD replica, a mini cartridge, and a mini disc for the Mega CD. Yeah. Oh, and also a Super 32X mini mounting spacer. So,
now, did they do that kind of for the first Genesis Mini? But like it was only like I think didn't Sega make them only available in limited quantities, only in Japan? I think, and like
I think you're right.
Yeah. But I think the whole concept of this is cool. Like a whole deep cuts edition of the Mega Drive Mini there with those Sega CD games. It was there's this. The person I always credit for the Retro Recap, GSK, I follow him on Twitter, and he actually was translating interview snippets from one of the designers on the Mega Drive Mini 2 on the behind the scenes on it, and he says they do plan on eventually releasing it globally with each region getting their own unique games, kind of not unique, but having a few different ones, kind of like how like the Genesis Mini one was, and the past Nintendo ones had a few different games in each region, and I guess they said too. They asked M2 if it was possible for them to put Sega CD games on there. And according to the developer, they said at M2, they said they were already kind of like covertly working on it without Sega knowing about it because they wanted to get a few of their Sega CD favorites on there.
Yeah, for sure. So there are going to be more announcements coming up. We should probably expect something on June 24th, and then in mid-July, early August, and late August. Is what they said. So they're rolling out the game announcements over time.
I think the burning question will be do you think that we will finally see this thing presumably makes its way to America? We'll finally see a English translated version of Snatcher officially released.
That'd be great.
For the first time since the original.
Yeah, that'd be pretty great. Now, I know that people have been including me and probably you, have been wanting like a Saturn Mini or a Dreamcast Mini.
Absolutely.
But Sega's classic hardware producer, Yusuke Okanari, said that they've already pondered doing mini versions of those, but claimed that currently the cost of producing parts for a Dreamcast or Saturn Mini is too expensive. He says development of new boards has been stagnant due to the coronavirus, and of course, it would be fairly expensive product in terms of cost. So apparently, they're thinking about it. Maybe in a couple of years we'll get something. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some similar quotes too from the GSK. They're stating how like it sounds like the Mega Drive Mini 2 is going to have just a very small rollout to start with because of like you said, with all the supply chain issues.
Yeah. All right. So that was a big news week. So let's move
John,
on. Yeah.
Can I sneak in one quick thing?
Yeah.
One other hardware related announcement from this past week that you actually clued me into actually a few days ago. I don't know if this is ringing a bell.
Not yet. I just woke up from a nap. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm half dead.
I saw you mentioned it on the Discord. I was like several hours late to it, and I checked it out. A certain Evercade product.
Yes, that's right. The Evercade Exp was announced. So quickly about that. Evercade started out as a handheld console that plays only these proprietary carts that are essentially collections of older games and ostensibly like harder to find games oftentimes. They then last year made a new version of it called the Evercade Versus, which is a home console version of the same thing, plays the same exact carts, so you don't have to buy new carts or anything. And it's pretty neat. You can pop in 2 carts at a time, so you can play multiple games, without having to swap out carts, and it has 4 controller ports. Now they've announced a new version of the original Evercade handheld, which is called the Evercade Exp, and it looks slick. It looks like a more kind of high-end, higher quality handheld console. Very much like the Switch, has that same kind of body style, the wide style. And they were doing and I don't know if it's still up, but they have a special edition that they're putting out. So the initial or the actual version is white, and they're doing a special edition version that's black. They're only producing 5,000 copies of it. But what sold me on it was included with the special edition, amongst other things, is a Toaplan collection and an Irem collection. And I was like, oh, shit. And I pre-ordered one because that's what I do.
Because the Toaplan collection that comes with like 5 or 6 shmups, I believe, and of course the big thing with this too is it's going to have a Tate mode for certain supported games also. So,
yeah. So it looks like it's got the same kind of vibe as like the Bandai Wonder Swan, where you can turn it on its side and play with the buttons. And apparently there's a button to switch it to Tate mode. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're talking about it in the Discord, or when I saw it in the Discord, eventually I was actually killing time I was at the drive-in last week, and I was killing time, and you got like a crap load of previews to sit through, and I was looking at the information, and you convinced me to pre-order the same version too, John.
Nice.
So yeah, it was looking forward to it. I expect it to be way better purchase for I think even a little less money than the Game Gear Micro I got.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It comes out later this year, probably around holiday time. But yeah, I'm excited for it very much. And if you're in the States, so this the Evercade is made by a British company, but if you're in the States and you want to buy it from like an American chain, I believe Best Buy and Amazon both carry it. Yeah.
And the place to get the Toaplan version was from the place I got it from was called Funstock. Their website.
Yeah, Funstock, which is a British site, but I found that their shipping to the States was pretty reasonable. I wasn't too put off by it. I think it was like $15 to ship the console to the States, which I think is all right. All right, now we're going to move on to the new releases. All right, Dale, let's see what we've got. We've got Spellforce 3 Reforced for all consoles except for Switch. We've got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords for the Switch. We've got Pro Cycling Manager 2022 PC. So you're not cycling, you're a cycling manager.
You gotta make sure to hit those hot commands for when to brake and when to pedal.
Everybody's got their kink, I guess, It must be something. It must be cycling season, because the next game is Tour de France 2022. Coming to everything except for Switch. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles on Switch. Then two big games here. Two big games. Tell me if you're going to get either one of these. Mario Strikers Battle League for the Switch and The Quarry for all consoles except the Switch. What do you think, Dale?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say them both at the same time there. I just heard Mario Strikers.
Oh, Mario Strike. I think we froze up for a second. Mario Strikers Battle League for the Switch, and then The Quarry for everything but the Switch.
Oh, yes. Well, definitely we'll get both of them. If I were to get one right away, definitely The Quarry, because I'm a big fan of was it Supermassive Games, right? The developer.
Yeah.
I played through all their games and all three of the Dark Pictures games. It was just actually about a month ago where a couple of buddies, we always make a tradition where we do the local co-op to do the Dark Pictures games to see if we can make all our characters survive, and we played through the last version, Little Hope. So I'm a big fan of their games, and that Quarry, that looks awesome. And they even got, I believe, David Arquette as a special guest character in that one?
Yeah.
All the stereotypical, it looks like it's really paying homage to Friday the 13th with the campground craziness.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mario sports games, you can't go wrong with them. I only think I have just very little experience with Mario Strikers before, but I'm sure it'll be as good as I've always remembered the previous versions of Mario Strikers getting really good reviews. So,
yeah. Whoa. Wow,
I was going to say, either of those two stand out for you?
I will definitely be getting The Quarry. I don't know why the music just randomly started playing there. But anyway, I'll definitely be getting The Quarry relatively soon. Dave and I are going to play through it together and probably stream it. And then I played the demo for Mario Strikers, and it didn't grab me. I don't know. I need to try it again. The demo's out there, so if you're interested in it, give that a go. Now, normally, I would say, all right, Josh, it is time for I'd make a weird awkward segue and I would say it's time for Dale and his retro recap, but now Dale, it is time for you and your retro recap.
Yes, here we go. Yes, this week's retro recap has the latest retro re-releases, remasters, and remakes. As always, credit goes to GSK, we mentioned a little earlier, from RetroNuts.com, StrictlyLimitedGames.com, and LimitedRunGames.com. You can find links to all these releases on the MoJoMenace.com forums. All right, starting off, this is a physical and a digital release, and it's the background music you're hearing now, too. It's called Jim Power, The Lost Dimension, from the Cubite Classics line. And this collection includes a European computer port, a brand new NES version, and a previously unreleased Genesis entry. It goes digitally for $10 on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One, but a Steam version is also available that adds in a DOS version and the original and enhanced SNES ports for $20. That's been out for a while now. Strictly Limited Games is doing an authorized cartridge reissue for the SNES, Genesis, and Mega Drive for £50, and also porting physical editions of the Cubite collection on PS4 and Switch for £30. And other physical release is Strictly Limited Games is also doing a cartridge reissue for the Jaleco's Game Boy action title, Avenging Spirit. And one of their versions even sports a glow-in-the-dark cartridge going for £50. I'm not too familiar with Avenging Spirit, but I think I vaguely recall running across Jim Powers before. But I don't know, are you familiar with much of those, John?
No, but I did see something about that Avenging Spirits game this past week, and it looks really cool.
That glow-in-the-dark cartridge, yeah. That looked pretty spiffy. Okay, so next up from Inen Games, they're kind of doing a retail release of the Wonder Boy collection. Last year, Strictly Limited Games did a more deluxe, full-on release of it with many more versions, but this is kind of scaling it back for $30 on PS4 and Switch. It only contains 4 entries from the platform action RPG series, including the arcade ports of Wonder Boy and Wonder Boy in Monsterland, the Mega Drive installment of Wonder Boy in Monster World, and the 2012 localization of Mega Drive's Monster World 4, and all have new quality of life features like rewinding and save states, all that fun stuff. I wish I had more time to put in the Wonder Boy games over the years. I know the lineage of them is quite complicated, right, John?
Yeah, it's a whole twisted mess.
Yeah. Hitting digitally is the Tower of is it Druaga or Druaga? I always mess it up saying it.
Druaga.
There we go. It's this week's Arcade Archive release for the PS4 and Switch for $8.
Though I'm sure if Josh were here, he would call it Druaga. just to throw me off.
Yes. The 1984 Namco arcade classic was recently made available on the Namco Museum on Switch if you want to opt that route instead to get a bunch more games and better bang for your buck. And this game has players control the protagonist Gil as he finds hidden keys to traverse through 60 floors of monsters and obstacles to save the priestess Key or Kai. And then big shmup news to close. John, you a fan of G Darius HD on the Switch and PS4?
I haven't bought it. I need to, but I haven't.
I know it's been out on Steam for a while too. They added this update a while ago, but the Switch and PS4 versions are getting a big free update, adding in 3 new versions of the game, including a previously unreleased arcade revision and the PS1 version of G Darius. And yeah, that wraps up this week's Retro Recap. Back to you!
Beautiful, beautiful, man. I hope the audio wasn't too crazy there, because I had it all the way down and I'm still like, holy shit, I hope that worked right. But we'll see it we'll find out in the mix. But in the meantime, here we go. All right, Dale, you picked the game Spotlight today, so I'm going to let you at it.
Yes, so I was kind of looking at a game I wanted to give a little bit more love for, and it kind of came out on Switch like a year or two ago, but it's been on Steam for many, many years, like 7, 8, 9 years, and it's a narrative exploration game where, so familiar with those, mostly you're just walking around, getting the story. Not a whole lot of gameplay or very minimal gameplay. I'm a big fan of games like those in the past, like Firewatch, Oxenfree. Just like to just explore, get a really good story, especially when they're done really well. And a game I'm talking about this week is called To the Moon, and that's from Firebird Games. And it's pretty much. It was originally made in RPG Maker. You remember that?
Yeah. I love RPG Maker, man.
Yeah, I love seeing other people's creations with RPG Maker. I don't have the time to make anything of my own on those. But and one of the original versions too, where it has like the 16-bit style graphics, and it actually got a lot of acclaim that it got ported up to make an official Steam release, and it's pretty much Inception the game. You control 2 doctors, Dr. Watts and Dr. Rosalina, and they're pretty much their whole job is going around to fulfill a dying patient's last wish. So like they visit people who are on their deathbeds, and then they kind of hook up an Inception-like device to kind of go into their memories. And if they got like a dying wish or a dying regret they want to change and make right, they could go into their minds and change their memories, and so that way they could pass away living a fulfilled life, I guess, supposedly. But so they go into this patient's memory and they ask what they want them to change, and I guess they said the patient intentionally left it ambiguous. So it's like you'll know it when you see it, is what the patient more or less says. Okay. And you kind of you go through this patient's life, kind of chapter by chapter, and each chapter is only like 3 to 5 minutes, and like the writing is really good. There's a lot of like cheesy, corny jokes, like you know how. Working Designs, how they're kind of famous for kind of their localizations, kind of working in like just kind of corny culture-based jokes like that. Yeah. They do a little bit of that. So while this is a serious game, they're going to reliving a person's whole life, and it's like it's a lot of real serious and somber moments in it too. Occasionally, the doctors will bust out random dumb Dragon Ball Kami Kami Ka jokes and just silly stuff like that. And eventually it seems a little weird at first, but then you kind of learn to like it. It's just kind of part of the game's whimsy charm. It grows on you. But you kind of go through this patient's life, kind of every 5 minutes you jump another 5 years, and you kind of go through their life as a kid and how they go into their career becoming a pilot. And it's called To the Moon because the person's dying wishes they want to go to the moon, and in both literal sense and a big metaphor sense too. And it's by the time the game wraps up, it's a very powerful and emotional journey. And it's the first game in a trilogy. The 2 games that follow it up are called Finding Paradise and Imposter Factory, which just came out last year. I finished that one. And Finding Paradise is every bit as good as To the Moon. And it's only available on Steam, not on Switch. But and Imposter Factory is pretty good too, but it does a lot to differentiate itself and kind of goes in some different directions. It's not as good as the first 2, but I would definitely recommend To the Moon and Finding Paradise, and especially if you have the Switch, definitely check out To the Moon. I got I guess speaking of limited run, I'll put this up. They were the only ones who did a physical release, and I don't get too many of the big box limited run releases here, but I got theirs. So
oh, wow,
yeah, they get a bunch of I guess this kind of has couple screenshots on the back. You kind of see a little bit of the graphics there. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. One of my favorite games of the year from that year. It was like, I think 2013, 2014. But yeah, To the Moon.
To the Moon. All right, man. I actually believe I own that game. I think I got it on a steep discount on Steam because I think they made a Mac version of it, so I'm able to play it on Steam. But I haven't played it yet, so I've always wanted to. I had no idea there were 2 sequels to it. No clue.
Yeah. If you go on a bit, each game is only like, I want to say like 6 or 7 hours too. So yeah, good games just to plow through on a weekend and just take in the story.
All right. Well, with that, it is time for the last question. I got to be honest, Dale. I'm coming up with this off the top of my head because I didn't do my homework. But I want you to just give me a deep cut Steam recommendation.
Deep cut Steam recommendation. Oh gosh, yeah. I guess off the top of my head, I will say, well, I was gonna say games I first played on Steam before they got on consoles was To the Moon and Firewatch, but Firewatch went on to get a lot of critical acclaim. Here's a dumb random one. I wouldn't say it's like a 5-star game, but it's a nice little. If you're a fan of racing games, they did a kind of like not like a remake, but a remaster. They just updated it so it runs on current PCs. One of Remedy's earlier games, a racing overhead perspective, kind of like that isometric perspective, like Micro Machines, sure. And it's a car combat racer called Death Rally, and you can find that on Steam. Fun little, and they name all the drivers, and it's you'll recognize some of the names of the drivers went on to be characters in other Remedy games, like in Alan Wake, and I think even in Max Payne also. But yeah, nice little, quick, easy car combat racing game. If you're into car, I think it's probably like under $10 too. So yeah, Death Rally. That's just a random one off the top of my head.
Good enough for me. All right, that's it for this week. If you want more of our stuff, you can go to MoJoMenace.com. On the main page, you'll find links to our forums, our Discord chat, and our merch store. Everything you buy gives us a couple bucks and, helps fund our silly little website, which is awesome. And then youtube.com, where you may be watching this right now, we're Mojo Menace, twitch.tv/Mojo Menace, and on, some of the social medias, we are at Mojo Menace. Dale, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at GRUEL Gruel, and I do a bunch of random local media based podcasts covering movies and games and stuff like that. You can find links to that on my Twitter. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Dale, for joining us, and for the rest of y'all, we'll be back next week. Maybe Josh will be back. Last time I heard from him, he was trapped in an airport somewhere in Mexico.
Oh, no.
So,
get home safe, Josh.
All right. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Peace out.